So, it's Friday. We've been hauled out for 7 days. As of kind of right now, actually.
Yeah, just about.
We are completely done with the bottom. We're going to add another coat of paint on the bottom with what paint we have left. All the through holes and seacocks are all installed.
It kind of sucked.
The last part of it sucked. Yesterday was easy. I don't know why today sucked, but yeah, it was difficult. So that's done. We ran into a serious snafu yesterday. When we first of all had to hire them to pull my shaft because they have a slide hammer. I messed with it for a while, wasn't going anywhere, and in the end, I'm glad I hired them and didn't fight it for a day before I hired them, because even with the slide hammer and map gas, like they heated up the coupling and everything, it took him a while to get it off. So he got the shaft off, and that just hiring them to pull the prop off was $180.
Pull the prop shaft.
Yeah.
Because you were able to get the prop off yourself.
I got the prop off, but just to have them take the shaft out of the boat cost us $180.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer. But
I wish we could give it all to that one dude though, because he's awesome, Ernie.
yeah, but it wasn't $170 or $180 worth of effort. Otherwise, I'd be a millionaire right now. So, but I couldn't have gotten it off myself, so it doesn't matter. We had to have it done. Once we got it off, went to install the Cutlass bearing I bought that's supposed to fit this boat, and we discovered that someone had homemade the shaft tube. So they had removed the old one. Who knows what they did with it? And my guess is it's when they put in the diesel engine and got rid of the atomic 4. But the Cutlass bearing was the exact same size. So it appeared that they had taken like a Barracuda Cutlass bearing, cut it to 2 inches, and then bronze welded it onto a plate, because the rubber was just attached inside the bronze.
Yeah, it was like if this is the tube, it came out a little bit, but then this my left hand, which is the plate, it was totally welded.
Yeah, and it was like just that much.
Yeah, it was just
and then you reach in, you could feel a ring, so the rubber stopped, so the bearing was like this long.
Yeah.
And then once we pulled it out, it was like a threaded bronze tube into the back of this that was the stern tube, which I'm not sure was doing anything. No. I guess it was holding the stuffing box.
It was holding the stuffing box. And then there was like this much, like just somebody unloaded a whole tube of caulk or something.
Yeah. It's like they just like kept filling it from the outside,
yeah,
and it just puddled up until it made a mountain inside this void, and it wasn't
just,
doing
like,
anything.
Saving chewing gum to put
it was
in
disgusting.
there.
Completely insane. And the hole was massive, like the area, like the stern tube, there was a massive void around where the stern tube went in. So once they looked at it, because I was like, do you guys have any advice? Like, what is happening here? What do we do? They pitched around some ideas. The guy Brad mentioned like they might be able to do a hard bearing for it that slid in, but there wouldn't have been enough clearance for the water tracks. So
Gary said it was going to be way too thin.
yeah, so then the guy that's in charge of the shop over there was like, look, you know, kind of the only path forward is we need to fabricate you a new stern tube, which takes us to a whole nother set of problems. Our shaft is 7/8 of an inch, and they stopped making varying size shafts in 1980 they standardized, so now it's 1 inch is the smallest shaft they'll do. So all props are made with a 1 inch to fit on a 1 inch shaft. So we couldn't get a prop that fit. We already bought a new prop. I'm gonna hand it to it. Yeah, so there are many levels to this nightmare. So we bought this new prop because our old prop was completely shot and brittle like glass, and just done. So
and it also didn't fit.
yeah, well, yeah. So that's the thing is like there was a plastic bushing on it that made up for the difference between the 7/8 inch shaft and the 1 inch hole for the prop on the old one. And so the new one obviously too has a 1 inch hole. So we had to buy another bushing, and it comes with a bronze key and all this stuff. And the guy at the Valley Prop was telling us that, you know, that bushing is an insulator, so it removes it from the bonding of the system. So then you run a risk of, you know, not being able to zinc this properly. So then the corrosion happens more so than if it was just like the prop on the shaft. So it's like all these levels.
And also, you're gonna show. He got really good footage of when he was at the prop place, but the way that this is shaped also is different.
Yeah, the way this is shaped. Someone online said that this is a racing prop. So we're gonna do burnouts. We're gonna do donuts and stuff. So that's our new prop, which was $375 that we didn't have any idea we were gonna have to spend. Now, for them, so then let's take us back. So they're gonna fabricate us a new stern tube out of bronze that fits the standard Cutlass bearings, probably a Barracuda, so that we can easily switch it out, service it ourselves in the future. There'll be set screws on the side, and it'll slide in, you know, all that stuff. So, all that, the quote I got from them to fabricate that says, replace shaft log with modified bronze shaft log enlarged to accept standard 1 inch by 1 3/8 inch OD Cutlass bearing. And the cost of that is $452, which I think is a fair price for a completely custom bronze welded stern tube that bolts onto our boat and allows for contemporary Cutlass bearings. I think is a very fair price. And we don't have a choice anyway. We have zero choice because the other Cutlass bearing was completely shot.
Yeah.
So, but that brings us up to another angle, is that everything I'd already bought, my Cutlass bearing I'd already bought was 7/8. My PSS system is 7/8. Everything we bought has been 7/8. But the yard they're super nice and cool, and they're like, we'll trade out your parts 1 for 1, and if there's a price increase from what we charge, then you'll just pay that little difference, which is kind of unheard of. So they're helping us out in many, many ways. He's also going to find us a used shaft, so that we can save money there, because he knows that we can't afford like all this crazy stuff. I had a long conversation with him. I was like, look, I have to be able to afford to put my boat back in the water. Like, you know, as it is, we're like so far over budget. It's insane. I mean, initially coming into this, I thought with me showing up with like, I had almost every part we needed and all of the paint, and we did all the labor, that I thought it was gonna cost us about $1,200 is what my guess was. And now we're at 18, so that's not too crazy yet. We're not done yet, so.
Yeah.
So, and we already spent, like, we didn't have any of the pipe fittings for the through holes, and their prices are pretty fair on stuff, but the stuff's just expensive. Like, we bought 2 pieces that make an elbow for under the galley, and it was $70 for 2 small pieces, pipe fittings. So, you know, we got all the pipe fittings here, which may have been a little more expensive than if I'd ordered them online. But one of the things I was really concerned about was getting here, dry fitting everything, and deciding I needed a different fitting. So I was worried. I'm like, once everything was in place, I might be like, the clearance is different. I need a 90 degree, or I need a 45, or I need a straight. So that was something that I considered the whole time. Is the reason I didn't just have everything, is I was nervous about that aspect. And they do have like everything you can imagine, and you know, there are things we've learned installing this stuff that resulted in us buying other stuff, like the strainer on the bottom. You know, it's a perfect example. Like, we showed up with one that I bought, unfortunately, and it wasn't, you know, I didn't get it cheap. I bought it online, full price, but we went with a different style when we got here because we realized it wasn't possible to install with the tri-flange seacocks. So.
And multiple people were like, you don't want that one.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, in the end, we're doing everything the best, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, if, like, it feels like a lot of money all at the same time, but it's, like, totally necessary, and we won't have to do it again.
Yeah,
like,
especially all the through-holes and seacocks. That stuff will never be changed. As long as this boat's floating, that stuff will never be touched again. It's like, we bought the best you can buy. And I bought it over the course of a year because it's so expensive. There's no way I could have afforded to buy all of that at once. So, you know, do it right, do it once. But now we're just kind of in a holding pattern because now it's like the weekend's coming, so they're not going to be here working this weekend. So that means like middle of next week is what we're looking at, and this is what I'm worried about, is like the lay days stacking up because they're still working on stuff. But he assured me, like, come like the holidays coming up, Thanksgiving's coming up. He was like,
next Thursday's
if we run into Thanksgiving and I can't install this stuff because they haven't finished fabricating it, that they're not going to charge us through that whole next weekend for the lay days because it's on them. Yeah. And, you know, as long as that is, like, on the level, I'm totally fine. Like, I don't have a problem leaving the boat here as long as I'm not getting charged $51 a day waiting for them to finish something. Especially if I'm the one that's installing it when they get done with it. Yeah. So...
Everybody we've worked with though has been super fair and super helpful. Like, really, really, like, multiple dudes, especially like Brad and Ernie, have come through and been like giving us tips and giving us.
We've learned a ton.
Yeah.
So much. So that's where we're at. Money, money, money. But as me and Camille were talking about earlier, this is 70% of the refit. You know, the next kind of big expense is like the standing rigging, but that's like $1,000 to replace all the standing rigging. We're doing that in January or February, so this is like, you know, the big stuff, which is exactly why it took me so long to haul out, because I knew it was going to cost so much more than I thought it was going to. So that's where we're at. Now it's time to eat some lunch and get back to work.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a like, subscribe, and leave us a comment. It helps us a lot.
Thanks again to all of our patrons. Your contributions help us get the boat ready for big things.
Until next time.